Hey everybody, I'm back. It's been a while, but I have been reading, and today I'm here to tell you about 5 books that I've read recently that I need to make sure are on your TBR. So, without further ado, let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course I hope you're reading an amazing book or 2 or 3 or 4. I have been traveling for work, to visit my family. I have been busy, but that has meant that I have been able to read a ton of books. And today I'm here to tell you about 5 new releases that I need to make sure are on your TBR. So as always, get out your pen, get out your paper, get out your Goodreads, however you keep track of that TBR. If you are so able, please order these books from your local independent bookstore, or if you're a library user, get your library to get you a copy as soon as possible. The first book I want to tell you about is Henry by Alan Bratton, out from UnNamed Press. So first I want to thank UnNamed Press. I have said this before, they have been a champion of my channel since it started many years ago. They sent me an early copy of this, and then on Independent Bookstore, I went to the Powell's location in Beaverton, Oregon. We all know about Powell's in Portland. It is amazing. It's like a mecca for us, but the Powell's in Beaverton was amazing as well, and had a great time, and I bought my finished copy. Henry is a retelling of the Shakespearean Henry stories, but told in a modern take with a queer twist. Hal is our main character. He is the son of Henry, the Duke of Lancaster, and this is really about Hal and his relationship with his father, with his title, with the world, with other people. It has a lot of destructive, Hal has a lot of destructive tendencies. He is very into the party lifestyle. He doesn't really want the responsibility of being the next Duke of Lancaster. And this is really about all this stuff that sort of happens to form him as a person. I will say that there is some trigger warnings here. There are some tough subject matter inside this book. Drugs, alcohol, child abuse, all of that kind of stuff. So if that's not up your alley, but I will say this book is beautifully written. It is page turning. Hal is a frustrating character that you want to do so many different things, make different choices, but you really start to see how everything around him formulates who he is and sort of makes him even more, what's the word I'm looking for? Complicated as a person. I absolutely love this book. I read it probably in 2 days, and I highly recommend it. So that's Henry by Alan Bratton, Bratton. That's Bratton, right? Bratton? Out from UnNamed Press, and I highly recommend it. If I didn't do a great job of selling this book, please go to Matthew Sarapa's Instagram page. He did a fantastic review on his Instagram that I can't even compare with. So we're going to go from something that was a little heavy to something that's a little bit lighter, and that is The Fellowship of Puzzlemakers by Samuel Burr. This is out from DoubleDay, and goodness was this a treat. So this is the story, so it's sort of this is the story of a young man. His name is Clayton. Very early in his life, as a baby, he is dropped off on the door of this building, which is the Fellowship of Puzzlemakers, which he is then taken in by the old woman who runs it. You know I love an old woman story, and he is raised. The book starts that she has passed away. Clayton is interested in knowing where he is, where he came from, and after her death, I'm so brave. Pippa is her name. Pippa is the woman who runs the Fellowship of Puzzlemakers, and it's full of all of these weird, quirky, fantastic people that make puzzles, live together, sort of a found family story. But she leaves a trail of puzzles for Clayton to follow to figure out who his family is. And so the book is told in 2 parts. One, the story of Clayton as he goes on this search and finds out about himself, about finding love, finding others to sort of connect with now that Pippa has gone. And then it also goes back in time and tells about the story of Pippa and the founding of the Fellowship of Puzzlemakers and all of the people that joined that, and sort of a little bit about how Pippa found her happiness as well. It is charming and it's lovely. It's a great audiobook, by the way. I listened to it while I read it, as you know I do. And it is a lovely audiobook, and it is just so lovely. And at the end, it's just got all the hearts and the feels. It's a very good hug for your heart book. So that is the Fellowship of Puzzlemakers by Samuel Burr, out now from DoubleDay. Thank you, DoubleDay. Gosh, all of the books I'm going to tell you about are very, very different. The next book that I want to tell you about is The Hearing Test by Eliza Berry Callahan. This is out from Catapult. I want to say Catapult, thank you so much. This is a book that is actually a little bit difficult to explain because it's not your normal narrative structure plot book, but basically our main character is an artist in her 20s who at the start of the novel is supposed to go to a wedding, and she wakes up and her hearing is different than it's been, and she goes and she does all these tests, and she's basically told that she's got this rare affliction. I don't even know if I would call it a disease, but it's a rare thing that has occurred that has really affected her ability to hear. Interestingly enough, she, for her living, creates music scores for different films and different projects. And so everything in her life is very changed with this loss of hearing. And it is about how she comes to tackle that, not only from a perspective as an artist, but also as a person, how it affects the relationships. There's some really interesting dialogue about the idea of recognition of this change by those in her life, and how some people just sort of pass it by like it's nothing, not recognizing how different her world is. The language is poetic. The ideas are very, very thoughtful and intellectual, and I just thought it was a really interesting book. One of those books that I kept thinking, gosh, I am learning stuff, but I'm also just wowed by the language. So that's The Hearing Test by Eliza Berry Callahan, out from Catapult. Okay, this book is out or just about to come out any day now, and that is In Tongues by Thomas Grattan. Now, Thomas Grattan wrote a book called The Recent East, which I have not read, but I've heard amazing things about, and this is his sophomore novel. I started this book and I could not put it down. So this is the story of Gordon. So we start with Gordon. It's about 2001, I think, when the book starts. He's a young gay man. His boyfriend has just broke up with him. So he sort of takes money, takes his stuff, goes, buys a ticket to New York, and winds up in New York. He really has no plan at all, really. He gets some odd jobs. He moves in with this bartender and her girlfriend, and they create this relationship. And because of a dog walking gig he takes, he gets introduced to a sort of a power gay couple who run what am I thinking of? It's an art gallery. Yeah, sorry, goodness. The allergies are going, the brain is slow today. He gets sort of embedded in their life. He becomes their assistant. Their relationship is very complicated. His relationship with them becomes very complicated. And as things are start to sort of come together, unravel, in the back we have this story about Gordon and the relationship he has with his mother and also with his father, who left very early in his life and found the church and never really came to terms with Gordon's sexuality. And there's sort of this idea of Gordon trying to figure out who he is, but also the complications of sort of the guilt from his father, and then the very complicated relationship with this couple. The pages just turn. It was like nothing that I've read in a really long time. I thought it was fascinating. I thought the writing was really crisp and clear. It almost read like a thriller, but it's not exactly a thriller. It's like a dissection of people. But I thought it was absolutely amazing. So that's In Tongues by Thomas Grattan, out from MCD. I absolutely loved it. Last but not least is the book that I'm actually currently reading right now. I've talked about it on my channel before, but I am loving this. And that is Real Americans by Rachel Khong, out from Knopf. Now, this is her sophomore novel. She wrote Goodbye Vitamin, which I absolutely, absolutely loved. And this is a family story. So it's 3 generations. We have the mom who came over to America from China during the Chinese Revolution to continue to be a scientist. We have the daughter, who is named Lily, who is sort of starts the book, and her life sort of in college, post-college, and the relationship. And then there's a third section, which I haven't gotten to, which is Lily's son. And him dealing with being mixed race in America with a father that wants nothing to do with him. So I really do believe that Rachel Khong is like a natural-born storyteller. It took me like 3 pages, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just going to sit here for a couple hours and dive in. Lily's story is completely doing everything I need it to do. The writing is so crisp, the storytelling, the plot, it's just so good. I don't even know what else to say about it. But if you like family, multi-generation family sagas, if you like a little bit of how sort of the world dynamics affect how people make decisions, I think you're going to absolutely love this. So, highly recommend Real Americans by Rachel Khong, out from Knopf. So let me see if I can get this into a pile. That is 5 books, 5 very different books, if I'm being honest. Let me see if I can hold them up for you real quick. Ooh, that was actually really good that I didn't drop all of those on myself, don't you think? Let me see if I can hold these up for you in a pile that won't go everywhere. There we go. There we go. I hope that all 5 of these books wind up on your TBR. I hope you love them as much as I did. And as always, please tell me about it in the comments down below. If you are a return subscriber, I could not do this without you. If you are new to my channel, I thank you very, very much. And as always, I encourage you to read globally, shop locally, and until next time, I wish you happy reading. Bye, everyone!